we agreed to sustain the standard practice of Orisa lifestyle. And the question is, what are the standard practices? Because people have observed different practices.
Yes.
And as a result of that, the conversation about the larger economy is that there's so many people who could help in putting the standard practice into practice.
Yes.
So that, like the calendar, just an example, could be really published for those who need it for something. So there need to hire writers and editors and publishers, and so that the general systemic process of supporting the practice could be distributed to the larger community.
Yes.
Because I think in a certain way, when we were talking about other systems that have their standardizations that allows people wherever they are to use those methods of observation. But I mean, if at this point practitioners are still asking where are the tools for the practice, or what are the standards, I think it just shows where things could go.
Yes.
And the need for the practice to include in creating these processes for it.
Yes.
And just like the book that will come out of this weekend.
Yes.
Just reminded.
Thanks. Because I forgot. What else did it say? It didn't stop there?
No, it didn't stop there. We believe in spiritual assessment, sometimes called divination, using kola nuts, cowries, opele, and ikin. We believe in performing transformative work, sometimes called sacrifice, according to the dictates of set assessment. We believe in sustainable practices, including observances of taboos.
Those are some of the standard practices that cut across all the Cuban, Brazilian, Haitians, and everybody's going to be doing those things. So those are some, and then the calendar, and these I think fall into the category of what Baba was describing in terms of you have your temple and you have your shrine. So if I practice Santeria, I don't have a 4-day calendar. It doesn't even exist. I have a 7-day calendar. And that's what I want to do at home. But when I go to the shrine, to the temple, well, then that might be a place where we practice the 4-day calendar. And everybody in the community, wherever we live, could be engaged in that kind of an activity. If I practice Haitian Vodun, we don't really use divination. We're using tarot cards and stuff it's divination, but it's not like different method. But when I go to the temple, well then maybe there'll be some talk about what the divination said from Ifa, what the Obi said on that day. So it's those are some of the things I think. Yes, sir.
Or another thing you could do is just have the stuff at temple be so general that people could still go back to their shrine. And some people are going to throw the cowrie shells. Some people are going to be throwing coconuts. Some are doing ikinopale. There's different things, but the temple are foundational religious concepts. And the stories that you be telling do refer to divination, but it doesn't. For the public and for most devotees, on that Sunday morning or whatever, when they're there, it wouldn't really matter so much if it was ikin or pale. I mean, in Ifa, the details we might want to know for some specific thing, but we're talking about for a general broader practice that folks need to know about. I mean, it's kind of like the Catholics. The Catholics, everybody knows, the Book of Matthew, the story of the bird. Jesus doesn't let a bird starve. How is he going to let you starve? Any Christian Catholic would know that. But the Catholic priest ain't telling you, what kind of seeds the bird was eating. It's not getting that detail. It's a concept. And so I think for the temple, it seems like it's the broad, important moralistic concepts, things that even kids can pick up on and just use and make an art project about. And then shrine stuff is where Because there's always going to be people in different shrines. Like Cubans are still using coconut to this day, and probably will be using it even if coconuts were 30 for $1. They haven't yet learned it. And traditional people will not want to use coconuts, and we're never going to win that battle.
Right.
And you can't never convince the Haitian not to use the tarots or spirit position. That's what they do. But I think the temple can just be the general concepts where everyone wants to hear how Ogun's temper got him into trouble.
Right.
That's what how Oshun brought two sides together who were warring, or how Orumila's wisdom. So maybe that's what the temple could be used for, and the shrine could be for the ritual stuff, and that's also where more money and things will be passing, currency will be passing hands.
Right.
Certainly, that is the whole essence of the temple. Yeah. In the temple, no rituals at all. That's what we are saying. Two things, those are the things that you are bringing to the temple. You have the foundation of Ifa, and you are bringing your faith to the temple. So it is there that we will build the faith. So after you have the faith, then you will know that when there is any issue, you go to your shrine. It does not really matter what shrine you belong to, whether it is Santeria or Voodoo or Uganda or Kadambia, it doesn't matter. What is important is go there, go and sort your problem out. And if you feel that you have other areas that you want to go in order to solve your problem, you are also free to do so. That is the whole essence of having the temple. The temple will provide the moral foundation. That is where you will know that all what we have been saying, take responsibility, don't think of cheating. Don't think of cutting corners. Then let whatever you are doing, let it motivate you so that you can do more. It is in the temple that you will have all those. But when you have made up your mind that, okay, I want to start to sell coconuts, then you can go to your shrine to cast it. In what way will I sell this coconut that will be profitable to me and the community? That will be handled in the shrine. But where you are going to get the idea of what you need to do is through sermons, through moral teachings and so forth that you will get in the temple. So that is the two different areas. So that's what we are saying. It's just like when you go to a church, you go there, you dance, you sing, you listen to the sermon, everybody goes home. When you need spiritual work, you are going to be the pastor or the reverend outside of the service period. That's when they will tell you, go and bring 2 candles, go and bring this, go and bring that. That is different. That is ritual. The two can be in the same space, but we must understand what we are doing at a particular point in time. And when we talk of the 4 days, the 4 days are spiritual days. There are days that there are certain things that you need to do. First of all, you need to agree on how you want to handle the 4 days. Because there are several ways that people handle it. The important thing is handle it. For example, I know of some Babalawos in Ibadan. When it is Obatala days, any airport that they offer, they will never put Epo. Because they believe that Epo is the taboo of Obatala. And they will never put it. And it does not mean that the quality of Epo that they will offer for you will be reduced. And it does not mean that it will enhance it. So, but it is a practice that they have done over and over and over, and they have seen the results. So, that is, there are certain things that we also need to learn in all of this, so that you will know this is the pattern that we want to follow. When you decide on that, it is fine. And don't forget that there are also some Mole and Orisa that are universal, that they don't fall into any particular day. You can do it anytime, and it will work. These are the things that we also need to understand. And don't forget that the 4 Orisha that we are talking about, they still refer to the 4 elements of life: fire, water, ground, and air. They also represent all those. And then the 5th one represents the universality of all of these. What we need to do first is to explain what each and every one of them mean. And what Ifá says that Ifá ló lè ní, Ifá ló lọ́la, Ifá ló lọ́túnla pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Ọ̀rúnmìlà ló ní ọjọ́ mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin òṣàdáyé. What he's saying, Ifá owns today, Ifá owns tomorrow, Ifá owns the next day. Ifá owns the 4 days that Orisa came into the world. What is that one telling us? That the bottom line of everything is Ifá. And that's why we keep on telling people that all the Orishas, without exception, their religion is Ifá.
Yeah.
So the moment we know that, we are free. For example, for me, I have never initiated anybody into any other Orisha besides Ifá. And I know how many Orisha that I have been initiated into, but I never did. And there is a practice that people do, especially in the diaspora here, that they will be initiating people into the Orisha that they are not initiated. It's very wrong. Because it's like somebody just waking up one day and say that he would like to initiate you into Ifá when he himself is not initiated. So it is the same thing with the Orisha. You cannot give what you don't have. But because all of us are thinking in terms of money, we have turned it into business. It is no longer faith. So we can do anything in order to make money. All of us who are in this place today, that is where we need to start from, to change that perception. And another thing that I want to say, which I had shared with my people, is that what Ifá says is that Ifá is the husband of wealth. Ifá is the husband of Ajé. So if that is the case, from what Baba had shared with us today, if we do it very well, we can sit pretty on top of all the economies of the world. Because we know what to say. We know how to say it. What I'm saying now is in Utura Obara. That is why Ifá tells us that Ifá is. And Ifá says that there is nowhere in the world that you go that you won't find money. There is nowhere in the world that you go that you won't find Ifá. It can be in different perspectives, but you will find it there. So we can use all those opportunities to move and then take responsibilities. And the kind of responsibilities that we are talking about is the responsibility that you want to create something that will develop everything equally, that will not cheat others, that will not say because somebody had cheated your forefathers, you must revenge. Ifá is not a religion where people revenge. Ifá is a religion where you let go, you forgive, so that everything can move forward. And when you do that, you will take care of both your friend and your enemy. You will be surprised that your enemy will end up respecting you more. And your enemy will do more than your friend. Because your enemy knows that before you can be free to associate with him, he must demonstrate to you that he is ready to change more than your friend. So these are things that we can do among ourselves. And when we do, maybe we'll call Baba one day to tell us, okay, this is where we are. This is how much we have. How do we now translate it into community business so that they make it? Because don't forget, that's what I always tell people who have decided to follow the Orisa lifestyle. You have lost your right to many things. Because you no longer dictate how your life will be. Everything is in the hands of the human. And sometimes you will think that, yes, I'm free today. That is when you will find another responsibility. You will do it. Ifá is the only profession in the world that people study in order to become servants. You don't study Ifá and tell the world that you are now a master or you are now an expert. You will always remain a servant. And if that is the case, how do you guide the world? All of us who are in this place today, how do you guide the world to ensure that we now have a new economic order that will be based on communalism? You see, that's all that we have been saying all along. Because that is what Ifá recommends, communalism, where you would use the community to develop everybody, where everybody will be happy, and where everybody will know that he or she is interrelated one way or the other with other people, and then all of us are happy. It's not as simple as we think, but it's something that we must do.